Now, French police say that at least 8 people have died while trying to cross the English Channel from France to Britain on Sunday. Their boat capsized shortly after the vessel left France. The incident comes less than 2 weeks after the deadliest channel crossing attempt this year, in which 12 people died. British government figures show at least 21,000 migrants and refugees in small boats have crossed the English Channel this year.
Le bilan est terrible.
The death toll is high. Unfortunately, 8 people died. The boat took to the sea from the area of La Salette near the town of Vermera, with 59 people on board. It quickly found itself in difficulty. The boat was clearly torn apart on the rocks. Among the injured, 6 of them were transferred in relative emergency condition to local hospitals, including a 10-month-old baby in hypothermia.
Introducing Emilie McDonnell, who's a migration specialist at the UK Advocacy Officer for Human Rights Watch. She joins us live from London. A very warm welcome to you, Emilie. So stopping the so-called small boats from reaching the UK, I mean, it's played an extremely charged part of British politics and wider society, with wild claims about the exact numbers fueling right-wing commentary in the UK. When it comes to saving lives, though, why do you think these crossings are still happening?
Firstly, let me just say that this is an absolutely devastating incident, and it's something that is entirely preventable. The new UK government needs to shift away from the approach of the former government to ensure that it's actually taking measures that save lives. So one of the key ways to do this is, of course, ensuring that the UK and France cooperate together to have robust search and rescue operations in the English Channel. But secondly, they really need to be ensuring safe pathways for people to reach the UK. Now, one of the reasons, the key driver of why people get on a flimsy, overcrowded boat and end up in perilous situations at sea is because there are very little safe ways for people fleeing persecution, people seeking a better life to actually reach the UK. Now, if the government opened more safe pathways, this would go a long, long way in ensuring that people are not forced to risk their lives across the Channel.
What do you mean by safe pathways? What do they look like?
So there are a whole host of different safe pathways that the government could expand or introduce. One of the key ones would be the UK has a border actually in France, and it should be allowing people to seek asylum at that border in France to allow them to safely travel to the UK. Secondly, it would look like expanding family reunification. Many of the individuals who are getting on these flimsy boats actually have family or ties in the UK. It can also look like work and study visas for people around the world.
You touched upon the need for cooperation most readily, I suppose, with France, as you mentioned. Of course, when the UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer took over the job back in July, I mean, one of his first visits was over the Channel, wasn't it, to see Emmanuel Macron in Paris. But have we seen any evidence of any joint goals, any evidence of any successful, at least discussion around what cooperation will look like?
Well, regrettably, the focus continues to be on combating people smuggling, a really hyper-focus on law enforcement, border security with France. And what we know is that there's little evidence that this will actually prevent people taking the dangerous journey. As I mentioned, the only way to actually reduce deaths at sea is through increased search and rescue and also through safe routes. And the UK government held a summit last week, a UK-focused summit. And just days after that, the government said, we're not looking at expanding safe routes. So both France and the UK really need to shift their focus away from this failed approach to one that actually shows that it will save lives.
And as you say, unless there are safe routes, people are still motivated to try and make this dangerous crossing across the English Channel there. Emilie McDonnell, migration specialist and the UK Advocacy Officer for Human Rights Watch. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.